today we're going to be talking about the culture and all cultural things about El Salvador.
So here are all the topics we'll be talking about. So our first one is going to be language, then we'll go into beliefs, and then we'll go into economy, and then the art and the literature, and then lastly we'll talk about the customs.
Language. So the national language in is Spanish, but something really interesting is that there's several regional dialects, one of which is Nahuatl. So Nahuatl's like a mix of indigenous language and Spanish language that shows up in a couple different places. There's not much known about it because it's, been passed down for like generations, but I think that that's pretty cool. Oh, wait, sorry. And also, something that's interesting in El Salvador is that 2 is only used for writing letters or speaking to foreigners. So that's the only time you'd use that in speech. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be speaking about the beliefs. So 50% of the population say that they're Roman Catholic, and then 30% say that they're Protestant, and then 2% say other, and then 12% say they don't have any religion. And so since the majority of El Salvador is Catholic or falls under the Christian umbrella, they celebrate holidays like Easter and Christmas. And so here in this picture is a really big celebration for Christmas. So yeah.
So now we'll be talking about economy, which is pretty cool. So there's, the CIA classifies it as there are 3 main sections of the labor force. So there's service, agriculture, and industry. So industry is like, in the book how we talked about Daniel's uncle, he works at like an oil company. That's industry, so like oil companies, stuff like that. Agriculture relates directly to the main export of sugarcane. That's basically talking about farming. And services are things like people who work at restaurants and do services for other people. So like the people who drive garbage trucks too. That's one. Oh wait, yeah. Arts and literature. Actually, yeah, arts and literature. So the cumbia, I think it's called, it's like a popular dance and music style in El Salvador, which incorporates short sliding movements. That's the idea of the dance. And then something interesting is that a lot of music in El Salvador incorporates the marimba, which is a cool instrument. Fun fact, that's like the iPhone ringtone. It uses the marimba, like where it's like do, 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 that one. Okay, yeah. So yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna be speaking about one of the traditional stories. So basically it's called El Cabudo, and basically it just means the man with big knees. And so the story begins that there's an old fisherman and he's really rich, and so he ends up drowning out at sea, and so he becomes like a fish human hybrid, which is this thing. And so he comes and appears at like lakes and like the beaches and stuff. So when there's tourists around, he makes himself look like an old man, and so he's like, oh, come over here. And so he goes into like the ocean, and then the tourists, they're like, oh, okay. So they follow him, and then with his magical powers, he changes them into fish beings. So the men, they become like colorful fish, and then the women, they become sirens. And so yeah. And so if you ever go to El Salvador, be wary of old men who want to take you into the ocean. Mm-hmm.
This is for customs. So, right. So one national holiday is Dia de la Cruz. It's celebrated on May 3rd, and the actual celebration is a combination of indigenous practices and some Catholic ideas. So the idea is to like say thank you to the cross and like thank you to Jesus. So what they do is they'll decorate the cross with like all types of fabrics and flowers, and they'll give candy, drinks, and fruit, and like put out offerings. It's really big there. But it's also celebrated in Spain, Peru, and Venezuela.
So lastly, I'll be talking about a popular food. So it's called a quesadilla, and obviously over here we see it as something different. But over there, this is what they are. And it's basically similar to like a cheesecake muffin, I guess you could say. And it's another interesting fact is that it's a
It's a breakfast
yeah,
food.
it's a breakfast food.
So they'll have it with coffee for breakfast.
Mhm.
These are our sources, and thank you.
Yes, thank you.